All right, so we've chosen a field that we're going to work in, and let's just for fun call it plumbers. That's our field. Now we're going to put boundaries around that, and we're going to choose, we're going to make a list. I would suggest 100. It depends on what market you're in, what kind of business you're doing, but you don't want to do 20. Hopefully, there's more than 20 people you're going after, but let's go for 100. Let's just say 100. And so what I did, and I'm going to share with you what I did to your success. It was successful for me, and it will be successful for you. Is I made a list of 100 plumbers near me. So that's what I did. I started by focusing on the plumbers near me, and I got some of those. From not every plumber is a member of an association, right? And you'll find that in every trade. Not everybody's a member of the association. So what I did was I found out the members of the association and I put those on my list. And then I filled it out with more plumbers around my area. And I made a list of 100. And there's a couple reasons. One, I hear people talking about they cover huge territories. But travel time, especially if you're in a metro area, travel time is horrible. Travel time really is really destructive to your efficiency. The technicians and the people hate sitting in traffic. So, and what I've discovered is not many people focus on the market right around them. I built a $12 million plumbing and heating company by focusing on a 5-mile radius. That's what we did for it was 18 years. We didn't do anything outside that 5-mile radius. And it became very successful. The guys liked to work for me because they didn't have to travel far. Like the average travel time was 20 minutes. Like if it was just made everything better. And it'll make things better for you too. So focus first around your shop. And the other reason for that is if you want to, and you will want to meet people in person, do you want to drive an hour and a half stuck in traffic to make one in-person appointment? Yes, yes, you will do that, but the less of those, the better, right? You would rather drive 5 miles from your shop to make an in-person appointment. So I would suggest, and you can do whatever you want, but I would suggest you put your major effort into the companies that you're targeting the closest to you as possible. And maybe there's 50 companies around and then the other 50 are outside that. Great, then focus on these 50 and then focus on these so that the bulk of your work is closer in. Does that make sense? It just makes sense. So this is called getting to know your field. And so we're stout. We know what our field is. It's plumbing. Now we're getting to know them. Who are we going to get to know? All the plumbers in the world? All in the state? No. Tighten it up. Tighten up and create those boundaries. Now, if someone's outside the boundary and they call you, of course you're going to go out there. But we're talking about your job as a business development person to build a book of business. Let's build it close to the shop. Does that make sense? So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start to work that list. I suggest this an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheets spreadsheet. I know there's other sales programs out there like Salesforce and things. I've personally never used those. And maybe that's to my detriment, but I found a spreadsheet super useful. And one is because I can write the name, you get to know your field. You can look up the name of the plumbing company on the internet, the website. You can put the name and the address and the phone number, right? And then you can see if they've got an email. And maybe the association that you're a part of has some of that information, but you start to fill that out. And so now you've got a mailing address so you can mail stuff. You got a phone number you can call. You might have an email. A lot of companies are starting not to give out their emails. They're starting to have little forms to fill out. But you want to have a space for that. And then you also want to document what you do. And so and I suggest that you don't spend 3 weeks figuring out who your 100 customers are that you're going to go after, I would suggest you that is an effort that you build up to that. But you don't want to spend weeks and weeks building your list, getting ready to make connections. You want to make connections this week. So maybe today you build out as many as you can find today. And then tomorrow you get to work and you start doing the contact like I'm going to talk to you about. And then maybe next Monday you build it out further, right? So, but I'm not saying to spend all this time building the list first. You're going to build this on the fly, but you can put a nice list together in one day. I guarantee it. Right? Let's do this. Okay. So you build your list and then, what if your association has 100? Do you want all those? And I would suggest no. And that might sound easy, but most likely the association, the plumbers involved in the plumbing association probably already have relationships with businesses like yours, unless you have a really unique business. And so they already have relationships. And so, yes, it's probably good for them to have a backup and to know somebody else, or unless you have a strategic advantage, a unique advantage that no one else has that might be useful, that might be cool. But usually we're similar businesses with similar offerings. And so do you just want to come in and just go after someone else's business? Like there's already a company like yours involved with the association, most likely. Are you just going to go chasing after their business? That's not going to feel very good. So I would suggest, if you can, that no more than half of your list is the association list. Maybe the ones closest to you, right? There might be another company far, far away that's, at your, marketing to a company near you. And that might be a good benefit. Like, yeah, we have to wait for hours for them to come, but if you're right around the corner, we'd rather use you. See, that would work, right? That makes sense. But I would balance that out. You want to have customers, you want to have target customers in the association and out. Because here's one of the benefits you're going to bring. Part of what you're going to do is help grow the association. That's partly what you're going to be doing, is helping grow the association by reaching out to people that aren't members yet. We're going to get to that. So that's one thing. You don't want to, one thing I want to, it says beware of taking too much time to get ready. There's a thing in sales that we talk about, and that is just this, you can get ready. You can get ready to sell all week long. I've done that. I couldn't figure out why I got ready to sell until it was Friday at 1:00. And then it was like the week's already over and I just give up and try again next week. Then next week I'd have fresh ideas about how to get ready, how to get better ready, how to get more ready. And I would spend all this time. This is back in one of my early 20s. And I spent weeks getting prepared to prospect. It doesn't work. You keep coming up with big fat zeros. So I beware of taking too much time to get ready. Put a list together, and then get to work. Then don't judge your territory. This is something I learned in another sales part of my life. Don't judge your territory. I see a lot of salespeople will try to go after the big dogs. There's some big dogs in whatever market you're in. Like, oh man, if I could get them as a client, that would be amazing. And it would be amazing. And if they are your client, it is amazing. The problem is you can make one mistake and they can disappear and go somewhere else. Or the person that you have a relationship with can move on and someone else comes along and they've got a relationship with someone else and you lose the business. So having the big dog is cool, and it's kind of precarious unless you have lots of big dogs. And so here's the deal. Big dogs used to be little dogs. Does that make sense? So I go after the 100 companies near me, no matter how big or how small they are. Because little companies, some of those companies are going to get bigger. Some little companies are going to become big companies. Little dogs are going to become big dogs, especially if I'm involved. If I'm involved, I am going to be out to help them be as successful as they can be. And so if you're my client and you're a little dog, I'm going to do as much as I can to help you grow. You know why? Because it benefits me. The bigger you get and the more plumbers you add on, the more business you're going to send me. I want you to be big. That's one of the miracles of this association thing, is by focusing on other businesses, it actually grows your own business. You might notice this book here, How to Win Friends and Influence People. People are concerned about themselves most. And so why don't you be concerned about other people too? So take care of the little dog. Eventually they'll become bigger dogs. They'll become a big dog. And if you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. That's kind of how it works. Yeah, so if I'm involved, I'm going to try to help all my clients get bigger. So I don't just go after, if there's a big dog near me, of course I'm going to go after it, right? Of course. But anyway, so get to know your field. What happens is as you build this list, you go on their website and you check out their social media, you're going to get to know them. Are they corporate owned? Are they newly owned? Are they small? Are they big? Are they new? Are they old? Are they second generation or first generation? You're going to learn a lot about them as you work this list. And that goes a long way. You're not just making a cold call, not knowing who they are. Like, we get those calls all the time, right? You don't want to be that person. So this is getting to know your field, getting to know who's in your market, and you build this list and start to fill it out. And that will go a long way towards your success. All right, that's it for this session. The next session will be working and cultivating this field. So I'll